They do even no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man do they talk. He do they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman pikin dey the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make you shout. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun the command of the masses. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Mayegun diary politico. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo, this man not dey off in mind. Oh yo yo, Mayegun don't come. Oh yo yo.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó. Mayegun láyàrí, Mayegun làwa.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun láyàrí, Mayegun làwa. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun láyàrí, Mayegun làwa. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun dá.
Please share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them Mayegun today. Of course, I miss you. I miss you too.
Bó bá ṣe rè, àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun làwa. Bó sì tún ṣe rè, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun làwa. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary.
Read the caption of the broadcast, by the way. Read the description as well. I've got loads of stuffs to share with you tonight. And if the time permits, we can have a chat like calling. So share the broadcast.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ dódódódó. Mayegun diary, Mayegun làwa. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé.
Ó ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé.
2023 election was massively rigged for Tinubu. He did not win. European Union.
Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé.
Today, INEC that conducted the sham was expected to start defending the sham today in their tribunal. Guess what happened? Their first out of the 3 witnesses they want to call disappeared. Meanwhile, if you have not read the body or the description of this broadcast, please do. Because tonight, we are also going to let you know that the VAT increase that you have been reading about, the traders, market traders, hairdressers, welders, and the rest of you that earn money out there, you will pay according to Kolu. Motideo. So, good evening once again. Good afternoon to you, or good morning to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun again. Now, I was kind of taking you through what we will be discussing tonight earlier, right? I'm going to do that. I'm going to complete that. Apart from those earlier ones you've read about, yeah, there are other things inside these charts tonight. These also include the trending news of a 17-year-old girl, Masoma, accused of forging a UTME JAMB results to earn or win scholarship. There are new developments. If you will ask me, we'll talk about that tonight, right? Also, ladies and gentlemen, listen, you must have read a lot about Yorubas and the Yorubas in Ilorin or Yorubas in Kwara State. The argument is Kwara State, according to those who cut and shared Nigeria according to their own wishes and then caprices, whatever. Kwara is Nigeria's north central. But we have Yorubas in Kwara with Yoruba culture and tradition. So the news coming from Kwara State is the controversy that got kind of averted. It was averted according to people. For peace to reign, Isheshe Yoruba is not allowed in Kwara State. If you are Yoruba in Kwara, you have just one faith, expectedly. Any other is not welcome. This way, Isheshe in particular, me as a Yoruba man, from a place called Kwara State today, cannot, in all honesty, go out there and celebrate the Isheshe, the Orisha, everything that has to do with Yoruba, because it will cause public unrest. In fact, it is an insult on Islam. We will talk about that too tonight, so that we are not shying away from almost everything. Mind you, there is this guy, his name is Senator, is it Uba? And no, Uba or something like that, who just said that he is going to arm his own group of people to go after, according to him, the unknown gunmen in eastern Nigeria. He dressed like a commando. A lot. It's cooking, isn't it? So yeah, thank you very much if you have joined this so far. Do me one favor, okay? I mean, that's something that tells me you are here, all right? If you are watching me on Facebook, okay, do your best and share this if Facebook will let you, okay? Like the broadcast. Then if you are watching on YouTube, right, take a moment, leave that comment section for a moment, and just like the video, just once. And then you can continue with other chit chat and all that in the comment section. It shows that you are here, okay, and not a robot. Now we're going to get started. So thank you once again, everyone. And as we do on Mayegun's Diary Political, we'll be taking this conversation one after the other, and I can be switching between all of them. My message tonight is just one thing, is to tell you again and again why Nigeria is not working, why Nigeria will never work. And when I finish presenting this, you know what? Whatever you make of any of this information is completely up to you. All right? You know, primarily we all agree. The problems facing Nigeria is not spirit of God or whatever made. Every challenge that Nigerians are facing today, be it economy, be it security, whatever you are facing, including in your relationship, if you pay attention very well, you will realize that maybe one thing may have led to one thing to another thing, then to another, but the genesis of it all can be traced to these criminals parading themselves as the ruiners of Nigeria. Ridiculous, yeah? Now, take a look. You see, leadership is not something that is a rocket science until it got to Africa. Oh, good. I just mentioned Africa. One very important conversation we are going to have tonight is our own, context of what is going on in France. And to the rest of us who have kind of escaped all these vices bedeviling Africa, including Nigeria, from our safe zones, unbothered. Because, I mean, you know what? Whatever they like, they should do to themselves in Nigeria. Oh, Africa, I don't, it's whatever you say. You're comfortable wherever you are. But things are changing. This world is changing. And it is ideal to remind ourselves that one day they will remind us that we are immigrants, yes, we can continue to point fingers and say the West did this, the West did that. Of course, no problem. But that is not going to change whatever they have in stock for all of us. The one I want to share with you tonight. But let's go back to leadership in Nigeria. It's not a rocket science, but especially in Nigeria, it shouldn't be rocket science, but it has become a spiritual science when it comes to leadership in Nigeria. The process that bring about these questionable criminals to power, that then give them the sovereignty, right, to lord over the rest of us in the name of government. That process, as flawed as it is, right, will continue to produce jackass, cabals, and all this level of, all these kind of criminals that are taking charge of Nigeria. One of them is election. So in this 2023 election, okay, INEC in Nigeria did not just deceive Nigerians, duped Nigerians. INEC of Yakubu Mumudu duped the same West that we love to point finger at and say, it's because of them. They are the ones who did this and that. Abi, because you know what they did? When they were preaching this nice, better, technologically driven election, cannot be rigged election, and all the nonsense they told you. All right? They told the European Union, give us money to organize this best election. So they duped you, Nigerians. INEC collected over 300 billion naira for an election that is already rigged. From day one, they announced the day of election. So they went to Europe. They asked these Europeans to give them money. Do you know how much they gave them? 17.4 billion naira cash. That's how much they gave to INEC. This money was to train people who are going to ensure that the election is at least free and fair. Ladies and gentlemen, they will tell you that Nigeria election is free and fair. That's how they do election. Now people will lose. No, now them be bad loser. I mean, which kind of election got so bad, so ethnically, tribally, religiously divided that in northern Nigeria, if you are not voting for Muslim, PDP or APC, don't go out and say you want to vote for anything. No, you will lose your life. 2023 election. In the southern Nigeria, especially Lagos, if you look like Igbo, you may lose your life for trying to come out to come and vote. All this happened. The whole world saw it. I mean, we have all the evidence, by the way. If you have forgotten, because of the Stockholm syndrome that has become the sort of generational sickness for Nigerians, of course, you can be forgiven. But listen, there are records of all of this. It got so bad that even Yorubas in Yoruba land, they were telling them they look like Igbo. How do you look like Igbo? Guess what they used in differentiating the Yorubas from Igbos, from these criminals who decided to turn politics into ethnic war. It was war. They said if you smell nice, clean shaved, dress nice, you are likely not a Yoruba. Yoruba shouldn't. We know Yoruba. Okay, are you saying the Yorubas are dirty? Listen, these guys did all of this. They may turn around and start telling you today and say, hey, it was just election. Hey, just move on. You can't move on from that. People got killed. Not for campaign, no. For those who got killed for campaign. For those who got injured, lifetime injury, for campaigning. 2023 peaceful technological election. Those ones are there. The day of election, bloodied people. And guess what? Majority of those voters were disenfranchised. Because they suspected that they are not going to vote for Tinubu. Oyinbo, we gave you 17 billion. Came to observe and they were like, what the hell? Now, wait till we take 17 billion by this charade. This charade. Of course, it's Nigeria election. That's how they do it. Oyibo cannot teach us how to do our election. Oyibo must know that this is Africa. We are no longer under colonizing. And these are the humbled slaves, sophisticated morons, the all-risers, the crumb eaters, crumb chasers, ass lickers. Oyibo cannot tell us. This is is it not happening in America? Is it not happening in Kiniko? And when they now finally install these criminals, and they do what they know how to do best, steal from you, take whatever they can, everything they can. If they have to take your life too, they will take it. Then we ended up having to bombard the same Oyibo's embassies. These Oyibo people, they are making so much money from visa. They are making so much this and the rest. So anyway, Oyibo now came out. They said, about this one was so. May I take you to channels? May I take you to Arise, where such conversation, especially analysis on this fraud, was discussed. Right? We'll go. The first part, please.
Dele Alake accuses the EU of bias and unfounded claims. He stresses that the elections, especially the presidential election won by Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, were credible, peaceful, and well organized. The EU mission presented its report on the general election on Tuesday, citing what it called enduring systemic weaknesses in the polls. It also identified 6 key areas for improvement in Nigeria's electoral processes. The federal government's reaction is in response to the report submitted last week by the European Union Election Observation Mission on Nigeria's 2023 elections. The report raised concerns over the violence recorded across the country, low participation of women and people with disabilities. Arise correspondent Punarimam Benjamin was at the event.
Though it's been more than 3 months after Nigeria's general elections, the challenges faced during the elections are yet to be resolved. The election petition courts are still sitting to address several issues raised by aggrieved parties who are challenging the outcome of the polls, while Nigerians are anxiously waiting at the federal and state levels for the outcome. The European Union says the general election was flawed with so many irregularities recorded, such as voter apathy, lack of punishment for electoral offenders, interferences by outsiders during the counting of votes, and the intimidation of voters.
So while the 25th February elections were held on schedule, a lack of transparency and operational failures reduced trust in the process and challenged the right to vote. Voters assigned to new polling units had difficulties in identifying their correct polling unit, and the conditions in almost half of polling units observed did not ensure the secrecy of the vote. In 16 states, the mission noted incidents of violent attacks on polling units and indeed on INEC staff and harassment of voters. The counting procedures were negatively impacted by overall poor understanding, particularly in completing forms, and chaotic and overcrowded conditions in collation centres observed.
Some of the recommendations by the European Observation Mission includes the protection of voters in future elections, establishing a robust operational framework for elections, and addressing impunity through an electoral offences court. The Independent National Electoral Commission promises to consider all the recommendations as provided by the EU mission.
As far as we are concerned, we are going to present our reports. We are going to make our submissions to the court. We are going to present what we know and what we did during the elections to the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal and all the other election petition tribunals, and then they will make a determination on going forward. But as far as the Commission is concerned, there were so many positives to this election. There were also significant challenges and problems with the election. We are going to address those challenges and those problems.
The EU delegation also visited the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, and submitted a copy of its report to the Nigerian government. The SGF is calling for more support from the EU to promote Nigeria's democracy. Punaraman Benjamin, Arise News.
All right, Rufai, the report is out last week, actually, but what's making headlines, of course, today is the fact that the presidency has responded to the spokesperson to the president, Mr. Dele Alake. So there's a report. What's your take on this story?
I saw the response of the presidential spokesperson, and I laughed. Humor. Pure humor. You rebuff a report, but you don't have empirical analysis to point out the holes in the report. And you didn't rebuff it. You said it was a badly done job. No, the EU report was a well-done job. Kudos to the EU for empirically analyzing what happened in the elections and putting a report out there. A lot of Nigerians want to forget the trauma of the last elections. An election that promised so much but delivered so little. Is it the same elections that people were divided in Lagos? That town criers were coming out to tell people not to come vote? Is that same elections where people were beaten, blue, black, were hurt, and there was rancor everywhere? That our journalists, Okpe, where are you? Okpe was beaten and punched in the face for going to cover an election? Is this same election that somebody is trying to defend? This same election that we saw what happened in Obiakpo, we became a butt of jokes by the international community. This same election that on the 1st of March, Financial Times wrote Nigeria's flawed elections. Same elections that people didn't want to come.
Been able to defend. They can't defend it. That's the problem. And because of this election, Nigeria is more divided to the point that even the people they declared winner, they are declaring war on any Nigerian that says that he didn't win, like for you. But unfortunately, the decisions of the same, decision of the criminals, Tinubu and gang, the consequences of that is not even sparing those who supported the fraud. INEC can't defend that. That's the problem, right? Because after all said and done, evidence here, evidence there, everything about Tinubu is fake, forged, fake, forged, fake, 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 everything. Nothing about him is proven real. How did he manage to go through all of that? Because he bought the system. It's as simple as that. Then come out and defend what you did. No, they are not defending anything. Because you know what happened now? Today, according to the timeline of their court, the tribunal was supposed to sit today. Okay? And as scheduled, INEC will begin to defend what they announce. Okay? I'll come back to that. Right before our very eyes, the politically influenced tribal ethnic tension and division orchestrated by these criminals got so bad that it became a thing that, well, the Igbos were declared unwelcome in Lagos. And with the promise that they will not be welcome anywhere once they have a grip on power. And they've started that by demolishing their businesses in Lagos. Of course, people are making moves to beg them. Please don't do that. They are sorry. They are sorry for not voting for Kolu. What happened to the Igbos that voted for Kolu? What happened to the Igbos who are members of APC? Because they don't see them as anything. They don't see Igbos as anything in Nigeria. They just see those as, just filling the gap. When we want to do quota arrangements, okay, we can easily just call you in and just say, okay, if you say Igbos are not loved, what about this Igbo? Is that not a Igbo minister? Is that not a Igbo advisor? Is that not, they are just like filling up the quota system. Because if they actually count them as this, they won't go this deep, this vile on one of the three major ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. They won't. But they don't count them as anything, even though they have the Igbos. Even in their own families, they are married to Igbos. They are, you know what I mean? But they still don't see them as that. But we know it's all politically motivated. Okay? Then you will think, once politics or election is done, that should be it. No, they are doubling down. Because they have to teach the Igbos a lesson. But if you want to teach them a lesson, then you at least must win an election that gives you the kind of that power. Because that's what Nigeria is, turn by turn Nigeria Limited. Okay? So if they say Milokon, Yoruba Lokon, you know it's not actually because of Yorubas. It is for them and their fellow friends, thieves, who have been what? Using the Yoruba slot in Nigeria projects, which has never resulted into better lives for the Yorubas, more jobs for them, or anything at all that differentiates the Yorubas from the rest of Nigeria when you are talking about the Shena KPI that they call them. No benefit, no nothing. But they are feeding fat on that meal ticket. They are Yorubas. They are speaking for Yorubas. They are Yoruba this and that all this while. So, you know, same thing with Bokwari. He's Fulani, he's Muslim, he's a northerner, he's speaking for the north, he's speaking for Muslims, he's representing the Fulanis. Can you now tell me that the lives of the Muslims in northern Nigeria, the lives of the northerners, the lives of the Fulanis, tell me they are better than the rest of Nigeria? Anyway, if you want to punish anybody, use that. At least you must at least win an election genuinely, not this way. So flawed. So INEC was expected to come and defend what they announced. Remember, they have started talking jaku already. They have started there, you know, kind of, when these guys, Atiku and Obi, when they are presenting their evidence to this same tribunal that all of us have seen and we've documented as well, INEC was, you know, to the point that INEC was objecting to their own results. Are you with me? Results that INEC printed and they gave to APC, I mean, to give to PDP. They gave to APC. They gave to Labour Party. That is, they gave to Atiku, Obi, and Tinubu. Same results. But when they are presenting them as exhibit evidence in this their court case, INEC, Tinubu, Shetima, APC, all their lawyers, they were objecting to it. But INEC in particular objected. Objection, my lord, don't take that as evidence. Why? That's yours. We'll explain later. My lord, don't take it. Anyway, they gave them 10 days. So 10 days ago, Obi Atiku, they closed their own case. INEC was expected to walk in today, and use their own 10 days or so, okay, to present their own evidence that is contrary to the petition from PDP and Labour. But when INEC lawyers walked into the courtroom today, exactly 9:38 a.m. this morning, right? The drama started. It was pretty much like they are unprepared, like, you know, when you're just walking into a place and you are like, what's going on? What's going on here? And people are like, we are here because of so. Oh, okay. Oh, it's today? Yeah, it's today now. We are here. Everybody is here. So the judges came out and they called INEC. And let me tell you what this simply means, right? You remember that when these Obi and Atiku were presenting their evidence, they also presented witnesses. Now, when they were presenting all of this, they were cross-examination, okay? Which was like, everybody knows who said what and when, okay, on record. So that's exactly what is expected of INEC. INEC will come with their own documents about the elections, okay? They will present witnesses that will also back them. Then Tinubu will bring out his own evidence too. The same result that Obi and all of them have, okay? And the result with Tinubu as well and all of whatever they are, okay? They will come with their own evidence, all right? And then they will come with their witnesses too. Now, what would then happen is PDP, that's Obi and Atiku, their lawyers, they will now scrutinize whatever Tinubu and INEC are presenting, okay? So they will scrutinize that. cross-check and all of that. So when INEC, Tinubu and the rest present their own witnesses, Obi and Atiku's lawyers, they will cross-examine them. Okay? So after that, when all of them have done that, that is INEC, Tinubu, Shitimano, APC, when they've done their own, their lawyers will now come and address the courts. Based on everything they've both presented so far, they will now present an argument, which is, this is why we want this court to remove Tinubu, disqualify him. This is why, you know what I mean? Then Tinubu and INEC lawyers too, they will now present their own arguments and say, after all the evidence we have presented, this is why we said Tinubu won. And we want this court to legitimize that, as in, you know what I mean, to declare Tinubu winner. So after all this are done, the court and the judges, they will now go into their inner chambers. They will now say, give us until so date. We are going to announce our judgment. So that can take another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months. Okay, maybe no months because they are timed. So today should have been the beginning of INEC presenting evidence of how Tinubu won the election. These past weeks, you have been reading on how Tinubu didn't win. Okay? So this Monday should have been the time for INEC to start telling us how Tinubu won. Unfortunately, when the court sat and was seated and all that, INEC lawyers said, we are sorry. We're planning to present 3 witnesses. So we plan to present 1 today, 1 tomorrow, and another 1 the day after. So we don't have much to say. But unfortunately, we have not been able to reach our witness that is billed to attend court today. How? What does that mean? I told you something before. I said, the interesting part of their tribunal or court charade is that, you see, presenting evidence, no matter how convincing this evidence are, as much as you all know, clear as day, in this their presidential tribunal stuff, the only thing they are looking for is technicality to throw it out. You see all those drama, judges saying this and all of that, everything looking good when the petitioners are presenting their case. That is the only reasonable part of the whole process. From this moment on, it is going to be, oh dear, how do you describe shameless or shameful art? I don't know how to, I'm looking for the right word, but you get what I mean. It is going to be so shabbily handled that you will begin to see what I have been telling you. In fact, at some point, as some of you are very smart, you'll be thinking, in fact, those who are smart right now are thinking that maybe these guys actually don't want to defend anything for Tinubu. They want court to throw him out. I said, don't get carried away. Okay, that's how they do it. INEC will show so much insubordination. Oh yeah, INEC will prove how above the law they are. INEC will ridicule the court process right before your very eyes, all of you. Then the court will come back and say the petitioners didn't prove anything. Oh man, you'll be angry, yeah? You'll be so angry. Save that energy. That's how they do it. So INEC walked in today to say they can't find their witness billed to attend today. So therefore, my Lord, we want to ask for an adjournment. Adjournment? To when? Tomorrow. So that we can see how to bring our witnesses together and present. Do you not have any other thing you want to present apart from a witness? No, my Lord. We just want our witness to come in. Remember that their argument is that On the day of election, the reason why the presidential election results could not be uploaded was because there was a glitch. And people were asking, why was it that only the presidential election results had glitch and the rest of the election results didn't have glitch, like no technical whatever? Can you explain what this glitch? They couldn't. So was today just about presenting a witness? Did you not have any other thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they do, but maybe not so it be, but I remember when Atiku and Obi were presenting their petition, they did not immediately presented witnesses. In fact, they were there filing all of their exhibits as evidence. Abi? So if INEC have the first day presentation and they decided to take an adjournment till tomorrow, so nothing happened. We'll wait till tomorrow. Abi? I think so. But somebody has this to say is in addition from the, well, maybe this is from Peter Obi's lawyer. You should listen to this.
Our part prepared so well that we are ready to embark on a demolition war. But that is their case. They came to court and said that they wanted to, they proposed to have 3 witnesses today. The first one was unavailable for domestic reasons. We are not told what happened to the other 2. Therefore, they are asking for adjournment tomorrow. We are ready to come here tomorrow, but I have a hunch that given the contradictions and inconsistencies and what INEC has done, I'm sure that they are not ready to defend this case. I stand to be proved wrong. But I wish that they defend this matter so that the public will come to see more things. What happened during this election? Honestly speaking, I continue to say that we've never had an election like this last one. I stand to be contradicted, but the choice is theirs to call a witness or not to call a witness or witnesses. For us, we are ready.
Thank you very much.
That's Peter Obi's lawyer, disappointed. Like, oh, we were ready to face them today, but, well, we'll have to come back tomorrow then. Of course, everybody will go back tomorrow. Including me. I go look around and see what they're saying and what's going on, right? We will follow the drama. One thing is this. You can't really take or steal from determined people, poor people who are determined. And that's what I think, that is what I think is happening right now in Nigeria. And it's shocking to so many people. Because according to them, they're like, election don't go, may everybody forget and move on. No, they are not moving on. Because a lot of you who actually felt like this was done in your favor, it's not in your favor. Okay? So you can't even move on from it. Unfortunately, you would have to kind of brace up, like that kind of, your shock absorber must be very strong when these guys are going to pull their verdict. I have told you many times, so I'm not saying miracle no they happen, no. And personally, I don't believe in impossible. Because when you meet motivational speakers, they will tell you, my dear brother, there's nothing that is impossible. Even the word itself says, I'm possible. You get that thing? The kind of motivational speakers, we're going to give Alangba courage. Then go face alligator. So I have to try me. No, besides, they take Duamo. As I did so, yeah, I am motivated. That kind of thing, what do you call that? Yoruba. Anyway, it's just on the side, okay? So whatever it is, I just believe that it is possible. And I will be one of those, okay? That will be so shocked if they let all the evidence, indeed, in the face of the law, if they let them pass. It shouldn't be this difficult, but it is Nigeria, okay? I mean, where he's paying is, each son that attends the court for Tinubu gets paid 15 million naira for appearance. Imagine the list of all of them going there. So they will find anything to get the drug lord freed and legitimize the illegitimacy. If the courts now turn around and they actually use the evidence that we know and they follow their law by sincerity, even me self go join you celebrate, say, na so na true. In Yoruba land, there is a saying, they said, Nkota ma fi pa itan, ile aye la ma ba. You know that whatever we are going to use in telling a story will have to be what you encounter on this earth. You can't encounter something and start telling story about heaven and all that. Doesn't make sense. So every story you're going to tell in your life are going to be what you or somebody encountered. So yeah, this one could be one of it, but it is Nigeria. I don't get that. I don't get that tiny courage, to give any institution in Nigeria a benefit of the doubt. I know some of you still get your stuff where you say they kind of say, you will see, don't worry, watch out. See, I dey watch. I no just get time for my chain to look at any institution in Nigeria, any of them, and say, this one is still better. In fact, I trust this one better. They play. But I am not ruling out to those of you who get that strong faith too. We know better. But when it finally happen, you probably should be my friend. The purpose is not to mock you. The purpose is to kind of let you see why some of us, we no get time. You no dare our gene anymore to give anything about Nigeria a benefit of the doubt. Don't be say we dey wish Nigeria bad, okay? Not us destroying Nigeria. These criminals are doing it, okay? And when you know that you are destroying something, it doesn't kind of get destroyed immediately. It takes time, gradually. So eventually, right, it is going to be it's going to be seen by everybody. So some of us who are seeing all of that, we just know one day try. They tell ourselves, say, maybe this one will be different. Sean Shereni. You dey joke, ni. You dey tell people, we say they are killing Nigeria. You dey tell them, say, maybe they do right thing. It's like asking people who have known a system, a rigged system all their lives, and they've normalized it. You're asking them to commit suicide. It's not going to happen. You would have to force them out. That's what will happen. So now road to that stage where we say, everybody go come and agree, say, this Mayegun they talk through, we go have to shut this whole thing down, all these people collectively, whatever means you're going to use, right? But now gradual, people still they believe, say something still will be done. And are they your back? So their court will meet again tomorrow. Okay? And I'll tell you what happened after. But away from courts now, let's talk about life now. Right? I mean, remove politics, remove every other thing you've probably that has pitted you against one another. Let's talk about life. How has life been treating you recently? I mean, should we use data to buttress this to kind of knock it on better, yeah? Or I should just continue? Don't worry, I'll use data. They have removed subsidy. The economy of Nigeria is in doldrum right now, okay? And then expectedly, cost of living is skyrocketing already, okay? A lot of people are making adjustments. A lot of people are falling down by the road, all right? But on the other hand, they are saying that, whatever it is you are going through right now, kind of see it as a sacrifice, okay? Like, it's temporary. Now, me, Mayegun, I am saying it to you. Omo Yami, it's not temporary. You will find your way out of it, okay? 8 years ago, now these same rogues, all right, told you all you needed was change. And when they started, including their vuvuzelas, some of them are dead now. Not like dead, though. Some are dead. Others that are dead, they're like half dead, walking dead. Sure, you get. But those who have managed to scrap whatever they could scrap from the table or the desk of their criminal leaders, who are still managing to kind of see here and there. They told people to relax. Okwari is going to change Nigeria. I love reminding you. Yeah, I love reminding you. Don't tell me, Mama, you gonna forget that one. Let us move on. Show Shiri. Let's move on. Show. O monkey. Sorry, only can move on. Show you back gates. Everybody should be patient. Bokwari's agenda, Bokwari's agriculture, Bokwari this and that. It left millions of Nigerians poorer. That's exactly what happened in 80 years. That's exactly what happened in numbers. More Nigerians fell into poverty, right? More Nigerians lost their jobs. Others who got education, they no get job. Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world in 80 years. That is the number, right? The jobless people capital of the world. Now Nigeria get on seriously. It was in that rank. In 8 years. Everything, oh dear. Why they were doing all of that? These guys were looting. They were borrowing. They were printing money. Inflation was at its chokehold. The people that they call Omoluabi, Omalaje, we have it in you. Yorubas cannot beg. No matter what happened in this country, in Jesus' name is going to favor my family. I remember all those. Oh, he go favor my family. I remember some of my Igbo brothers. They have this bragging right, yeah. Say we know, say we don't get any share for Nigeria. So we are not expecting to. No matter how bad Nigeria become, since Igbo man know they look forward to anything from Nigeria in the first place, he go survive. You know that bragging right? Igbo, check yourself. Have you not said that before? Under Bokwari, when people were screaming and crying, old people having their money stolen from their banks, pensions unpaid, sick old men who work so hard, but they are suffering right now. And when you see them here and there, Buhari, you will see an Igbo man who jump there and say, now want change. Now want APC, we want you. We know say nothing go come out of them. We know they expect. And since we know they expect, no matter how hard, now when they expect say it go easy, now go they complain. Igbo man no go complain, say they play. Everybody they complain. Now adjustment everybody they make. Person where they abroad self they complain. Imagine you hiding from your own family members because the thing whether they ask for this time around don't over. So about how come your phone is ringing? No, it's from Nigeria. I don't want to pick it. Okay. He says Uncle Ayo. It's one of my uncle. It's my brother. It's my mom's brother. I mean, he's asking me for some. They want to kill me, Baba. They want to kill me from. Everybody is feeling it. You can tell yourself otherwise. So even me, they feel them. Yeah, and they look for money now. My own siblings, okay? They need money in this hard Nigeria, okay? To start their own businesses. They need more money, to invest in their businesses and say, anything you can. I say, wait, I go borrow money. How much I won't give you? So everybody is feeling it. So you can tell yourself otherwise. Of course, those who don't expect anything, they are not disappointed. That's the point I'm trying to make. The Igbos will tell you, we are not expecting anything, so we are not disappointed. But when you see those who told you to be patient, you need to be patient. This Nigeria has already spoiled. Buhari is trying to bring Nigeria back to track and people wait and told, say, make them be patient. They see they inside that basket of poverty. Oh. Trust me, they are still there. And from the record, with everything still going on in Nigeria, they say by 20, this one no good though. This one is sad. It's a very bad news. They say by 2030, because it's no fire again, the poor people in Nigeria will cross 200 million. Is that not Zimbabwe? Zimbabwe, because around that time, they say when poor people have nothing to eat, they go eat the rich. And I remember that time when I was saying that one of the reasons why I started Mayegun's Diary Politico was because I left Nigeria. Okay, I left Nigeria and I got here. And I saw opportunities I could legally get involved in, and then decided to work on myself and my life. And thank God for it today, by the way. But in the process, I was like, actually, life is not that hard. Why did they make life so hard for us in Nigeria? And you see what these guys are doing with the way they are going, where things that are, limited resources. Okay, limited resources. Nigeria hasn't tapped the real potential of our people and our resources. But you see the little that these lazy criminals, greedy people, they have access to, that they are still looting. It's not actually enough to care for these millions of people, but they're still stealing it. Now, if you don't care for these people, you see all those children, the people they're born, they are giving birth to children in Nigeria every day. I don't know how many thousands, with no plan for them, nothing. And this increasing out of school children, you see, one thing people are not paying attention to is that, you see, these million of children, right, who have no real access to real education or mentorship or any support. Some of them will make it to 18, okay? They will die. Others that make it to 18, life would have shaped them in a way that the normal 18 years old, like you say, the shege that you see 18-year-old boy in Nigeria telling you the shege he has seen. If they call his own age mate, 18 years old in America, that is still fighting for the latest version of iPhone, latest version of Xbox, latest version of this and that in America, and you put that beside 18-year-old in Nigeria. So, and I said, that is dangerous. Because you know what will happen? What will happen? I saw this years ago. A lot of us who left Nigeria because of these failed criminals and the leadership, we thought we would find a better life elsewhere, build a life for ourselves, our family, do as much as possible to stay a little bit above water, the water that the Nigerian criminals are dipping Nigerians into by their policies and their corruption. So I said, now, after 10 years, 15 years, you have now reached the climax of your dream. I'll tell you what I mean. A lot of us today, what we have today, after we left Nigeria, they used to be things we were dreaming about. Tell me I'm lying. A lot of us, a lot of you watching me right now from outside Nigeria, with the blessings you have kind of amassed, whether it is in education, in business, in your work or professional life, since you left Nigeria, you can say some of the things you have today, they used to be things you dream about. I want to have a family. I want to have a nice car. I want to have a great house. I want to be able to travel the world. I want my children to have better education, safe environment. You have everything now. Yes, you do. But the last 10 years, 20 years that you have been building that life for yourself and your family, now you have everything. You know that last 20 years that these criminals have abandoned the same children that were born 20 years ago, no real education, adulterated education, okay? No opportunity per se. Like, subjected to the life that is so mean, and it's only life they have known. They are growing up and they are asking, why can't I have that? Why do these people have this and I don't have that? It's because you are poor. You can't have that. Well, my friend, shut up. Hey. So one day you will be driving in that your nice car with your beautiful family, okay, on that same Nigerian road where you are seeing yourself above water, and some of these children would have grown up too, 20 years, 25 years old. No future, no plan, no nothing. Some of them no education. But they want to survive. They have been struggling to actually stay alive to get to those age. All they have known all their lives are hardship. Now there you are. With this entitlement mentality that, look at them, they are so happy in their own car. They must be one of those stealing our money. You didn't steal money. You left Nigeria, okay? But here you are, back to the motherland, I've been a fatherland. You could become a prey, a target, a victim of the children they abandoned. So if you're living abroad and you are supporting any of these criminals, good for you, okay? But if you can think very well, you are not doing yourself any favor. Nobody is doing himself or herself any favor defending any of these rogues, okay? We are just setting our own, the day of death in it. And I just pray that it will be peaceful. If any of us come across all these calamities that these guys have actually like enshrined in Nigeria or entrenched in Nigeria. That was when I started my Egun's Diary Political, to tell people that you cannot think you have escaped Nigeria because you live abroad. You could afford anything. Majority of what we talk about in Nigeria doesn't affect me. To some extent, they don't affect my family. But does that spare my family? Of course not. Does that spare yours? I don't think so. Right? Now, the more it gets, kind of things get so bad and worse, the more you can be kind of take it serious. That it is not a banter. I told people, politics is not game. People will tell you, this is a game. Politics is a game, and you have to know how to play. Politics is not game. This is something that has to do with life and death. If you are going to have access to better healthcare system, if you are having any serious health problem, and you know that with the system you have in place, responsible leadership, at least you stand in chance of being alive than dying because of 10,000 naira. You know what I mean? That you could live in a place that is safe enough, prosperous enough for you to maximize that and become a better citizen, somebody that contributes to that society. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't see it that way, which is sad. It is. But now, it is just going to get worse. So the report we have received is that the federal government of Kolu is now going to start taxing the market traders in Nigeria. Okay. Market traders in Nigeria are people who you can call the informal sector. They pay taxes to local government areas. They pay taxes. They give them tickets here and there. But unfortunately, those tickets don't go, they are not really from government. They are just called job for the boys. Okay? Let me tell you how that works. In Nigeria, if you buy a car, you are expected to have the document that says this car is yours. How the car got into Nigeria shouldn't be your business. Okay? A dealer who sold you a car with the right paper, right, is responsible for the products he sold you. And if there's any question at all, the dealer should be held responsible, but that is not in Nigeria. So when you buy a car, you have to do one thing to make sure that those who are going to kind of tax you here and there, from buying that car. And at the end of the day, you will think, you need driver's license, you pay for that to government. I mean, some people have to bribe people to get that, okay? You don't really have to go and drive and do the test and all that, okay? Then you got all the papers. Then somebody in a local government may feel like, how do I reward Kamilu and his boys to take money from you for having a car? Okay. For the road maintenance tickets, you will need to pay 500 naira. You see, that 500 naira, normally you will think, okay, I'm paying 500 naira to the government. No, you are not. It's just called job for the boys. Okay? 500 naira, that's not much now. I'll pay it. I'll take the document. That 500 naira will now go into the hand of a demand they gave the contract to. The contract is any money he makes from that money, from collecting 500 naira from you, he will take 60% or 70%. Then he will pay 30% to the account of the Oga.